Tonight, St. Lucia secures 24,000 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine through COVAX. The health minister explains why quarantine rules for travelers into St. Lucia remain the same, and Ras Ipa is short in Castries.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Wednesday, the 7th of April, 2021. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. A special hello to our plug-and-play viewers via our digital antenna. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. An eyewitness to the Tuesday night shooting of Vendors Association President Peter Ras Ipa Isaac is calling for justice for his associate, stating that the shooting was uncalled for and an abuse of power. He gives the details to Hot 7 TV in this report.
Social media lit up on Tuesday night after videos and photographs of Vendors Association President Peter Ras Ipa Isaac sporting a gunshot wound on Jeremy Street started making the rounds. According to reports, the shooting followed a verbal exchange between Isaac and a woman working at a nearby bar, which led to both a verbal and physical altercation with a man later revealed to be a security guard who allegedly drew his firearm and shot Isaac. On Wednesday, Hot 7 TV caught up with one man who saw the incident from start to end and gave his account. The man, who ironically identified himself as Eagle, said he went to the bar to have a couple of drinks with Isaac when a simple misunderstanding led to a case of abuse of power.
I bought 2 shots of whiskey. Normally I drink mine with ice and water, you know, and Ipa love it with, soda water, ice. So he asked for a bigger glass and he put it for Ipa. That was the first round. All right, so I tell him I'm making the second round because I need to go home early because I'm not going to stay in town, you know. So let's make the second round before I go. Yeah, so I order again. I asked for a glass. So the woman told him he had a big glass there already, just pour it into his glass. He said, no, you want another glass. Then the woman said something to him, then they had a verbal word of exchange, which I don't want to say, you know, but not anything profanity or anything insulting of that nature, you know. And then he called Panel, but if another guy had called there again, I just remember that, Pinel. But Pinel told him the same thing, you have a glass, just put it in his glass you have there. But Ipa just want to drink his drink in a larger glass with his soda water, his ice, you know, and that's how Ipa's thing, all right? So a guy just came there from behind. He never identified himself as a police or security. Whatever what his status or his position, he never did that. He just hold Ipa like in a choke lock and grab him and just bring him up there. What we call in our local palace, malmene, twin him, all on the ground.
Eagle went on to say the altercation did not end after the male dragged Isaac out of the building.
He took Ipa hat for him, you know, because Ipa hair locks shatter kind of way, you know, not really shatter, but spread a kind of way. While they're going back to take my drink, the guy is still in front of Ipa in a hostile way. So they have exchange of work. So I will probably Ipa told him, well, he'll have to take action if it's lawyer and all kind of thing. He's still in front of Ipa. I see him pull out his gun from his waist. Now the gun have a connection like them kind of telephone wire attached to the gun and the case or whatever you call it. In less than no time, boom! So I want him to say, why you shot him? You had him in front of me, the man said you go kill him. I say, no, he never tell you that. After a time of about 5 minutes after a squad arrived with one of them police driving, I knew the guy at the waterfront by the NIC building. He was the driver. Then he went to the back. I still walk up to him. I say, brother, that on call. Or if I don't see Ipa, kick him. To me, I'm so angry. I'm saying, Ipa's biggest strength is his mouth. Nothing else but his mouth.
Eagle said he was left baffled by the incident and had to question the motive of the shooter.
I'm wondering if Ipa has done something to that man, if Ipa take that man woman in the past. I want to know if Ipa has done something to that man in the past or that man came to take revenge. You know, if it's some kind of Shaolin picture I was watching. Up to now, I cannot believe that happened. He never, number one, all right, he told the guy, yeah. You have to buy and go, and by the way, you have to go and time Ipa could not even have time to say, what you say? He just grabbed him by his shoulder like in a chokehold, grab him and bring him out. You know what I'm saying? And drag him, malmene him, twin him. And after you still in front of him, you confronting him. After you bring him out, you could have go back inside the rum shop. So if Ipa came back inside that pub and you shot Ipa, I'd say, well, the guy in all his rights. You understand? You bring him out already, that was enough already.
The witness said whilst many would shy away from speaking out about such incidents, he believes more people should step up in this manner. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. The St. Lucia Fire Service gives the details of a shooting on Tuesday evening involving the president of the Vendors Association. Isaac, the victim of the shooting, is nursing non-life-threatening injuries.
Emergency personnel at the fire service headquarters received a call on Tuesday, 6th April at 7:50 p.m. informing of a shooting incident on Jeremy Street in Castries. The responding officers found an adult male lying on his back on the ground. The individual was fully conscious, alert, and oriented. An assessment revealed a puncture wound on the patient's body. His wound was treated and he was transported to the OKEU hospital, where he was handed over to medical personnel for further care.
The Secretary of the Police Welfare Association is commending the work of peace officers or COVID wardens over the long Easter weekend for going above and beyond to enforce the COVID-19 laws. Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte says while some might complain, he sees a group of dedicated officers doing exactly what they were hired to do.
The tireless efforts of the peace officers, also known as wardens, have been lauded by the Secretary of the Police Welfare Association, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte, after video footage as well as several reports surfaced of small crowds being dispersed for breaking COVID-19 laws during the long Easter weekend. Hippolyte said the officers and wardens did exceptionally well whilst executing their duties, despite complaints and opposition to their actions by some members of society.
I know there's lots of public discussion due to certain videos being surfaced as to the tactics of our peace officers, which we call wardens. But what I see is dedication, what I see is commitment.
Sergeant Hippolyte also expressed happiness over the level of compliance shown by the majority.
I would also like to thank the public for their, what would I say, majority of St. Lucians adhere to protocols. By all means, there'll always be a few that want to challenge the limits of the law, and that's okay. But it was an excellent taking in terms of the organization. The officers did a good job, and I must say that with this continued support from the public, we'll be able to see through this pandemic and eventually return to what we know as normalcy.
Over the Easter weekend, the following COVID-19 related breaches were recorded by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force: 73 curfew breaches, with 7 individuals arrested as a result, 2 bar owners arrested for operational breaches, charges expected in both instances, 3 mass crowd gatherings at beaches and rivers, 2 omnibus operators warned for exceeding the passenger limit, and 1 individual cautioned for operating loudspeakers. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, thousands of COVID-19 vaccines arrive from COVAX. The health minister says quarantine still applies to travelers to St. Lucia, even if they are vaccinated. And Brazil records over 4,000 COVID-19 related deaths in 24 hours.